Welcome back to Be Kind Fare, where we explore the truths hidden within our food systems. Today, we're diving into a topic that is both crucial and deeply unsettling, a standard practice in the global egg industry that remains largely invisible to the public. It's a story that begins with the humble egg, a staple in countless kitchens. But behind the cartons and the pastoral imagery lies a side of the industry that many people have never heard of. We're going to talk about what happens to the male chicks born into this system. For every female chick hatched who will go on to lay eggs, a male chick is also born. Since these male chicks cannot lay eggs and are not the same breed used for their flesh, they are considered economically useless to the industry from the moment they are born. What happens next is a process known as chick culling. It is a stark reality that on their very first day of life, millions upon millions of male chicks are disposed of. One of the most common methods used globally is maceration. This involves the chicks being placed onto a conveyor belt that leads to a large, high-speed grinder. The process is instantaneous, and it is considered a standard, accepted practice across the majority of the egg industry worldwide. It's a difficult reality to confront, but it's essential to understand why this happens. The logic is purely economic. The breeds of chickens used for egg laying, known as layers, are very different from those raised for their flesh, known as broilers. Layer hens have been selectively bred over generations to be small and efficient, converting feed into the maximum number of eggs. Their male counterparts, therefore, do not grow large or fast enough to be profitable to raise for their flesh. It would simply cost too much to feed and house them until they reached a suitable size. So, from the perspective of industrial agriculture, these tiny, newly hatched male chicks represent a cost with no return on investment. The industry's solution has been to eliminate them as quickly and efficiently as possible, immediately after they hatch and their sex is determined. This process, known as sexing, is done by skilled workers who can quickly sort the female chicks from the males. The females are sent to farms to become the next generation of egg-laying hens, while the males are diverted for culling. This practice is not a secret kept by a few bad actors, it is the industry standard. It's a fundamental component of the modern egg production system that has operated this way for decades, largely out of public sight and mind. The sheer scale is staggering. With billions of eggs consumed annually, the number of male chicks culled each year is estimated to be in the billions globally. This means for approximately every hen in an egg-laying facility, a male sibling was disposed of on the day he was born. For a long time, this was just accepted as a necessary evil of egg production. Consumers buying eggs were, and many still are, completely unaware that this is a routine part of the process, whether the eggs are from caged, cage-free, or free-range systems. The ethical implications are profound, raising serious questions about our relationship with the animals in our food systems. The practice treats living, sentient beings as mere byproducts, their lives extinguished simply because they were born the wrong gender for the industry's purpose. However, the tide is beginning to turn, thanks to growing public awareness and technological advancements. The discomfort with chick culling has spurred a race to find a better way, a way to prevent these male chicks from ever being hatched in the first place. This has led to the development of in vivo sexing technologies. The goal of this science is to determine the sex of the embryo inside the egg long before it develops to the point of hatching. This would allow the male-identified eggs to be removed from incubation early on. These eggs could then be repurposed, perhaps for use in animal feed or the pharmaceutical industry, instead of becoming living chicks destined for immediate disposal. The technology aims to solve the ethical problem at its root, before a sentient chick is ever born. Several different methods of in vivo sexing are being developed and implemented. One approach involves creating a minuscule hole in the eggshell with a laser and extracting a tiny drop of fluid for hormonal analysis. This can determine the sex of the embryo around day 9 of incubation. Another promising technology uses a form of spectroscopy. It shines a light through the eggshell and analyzes the way the light is reflected or absorbed to identify differences between male and female embryos, a process that can be done even earlier in the incubation period. The challenge is to make these technologies not only accurate but also fast and affordable enough to be implemented on an industrial scale. Hatcheries process hundreds of thousands of eggs every single day, so any new system must be able to keep up with that pace without being prohibitively expensive. Countries like Germany and France have already taken legislative steps to ban the practice of chick culling, pushing their industries to adopt these new technologies. This has created a massive incentive for scientists and engineers to perfect in vivo sexing and make it commercially viable. These bans represent a monumental shift in the industry. They acknowledge that the mass culling of healthy animals is ethically indefensible and that we have a moral obligation to find and implement alternatives when they become available. The adoption of these technologies is not yet universal, and chit culling remains the standard in most parts of the world. However, the progress being made offers a glimmer of hope that this practice could one day become a relic of the past. It shows that when consumers, advocates, and scientists come together to demand change, even the most entrenched industry standards can be challenged. The conversation is no longer about if we should stop chit culling, but how and how quickly we can do it. Understanding these hidden processes is the first step toward creating a more transparent and compassionate food system. It empowers us as consumers to ask questions, to support brands that are investing in ethical alternatives, and to advocate for wider industry change. The story of chit culling is a powerful example of how our food choices have far-reaching consequences, often in ways we never even imagined. It's a difficult truth, but one that we must face if we are to build a kinder and fairer world for all beings. Thank you for joining us today to explore this important topic. By learning and sharing this information, you are contributing to a more conscious and informed society. If you found this video insightful and want to continue exploring the hidden truths of our world, please subscribe to Be Kind Fair. Your support helps us continue our mission to bring these crucial stories to light.